Most of you assume that the people growing the fastest on LinkedIn are more senior, more credentialed, more connected. They don't have a bigger network than you. The people actually growing are just running a proven system you don't even know exists. Until now. I'm going to show you the exact 7-step LinkedIn growth system that this guy used to go from 1,000 followers to almost 1 million in under 3 years. He's not an influencer. He didn't go viral. Ben Meir is someone who built a repeatable system, ran it until it worked, and now he's helping others use it to do the same. He put the whole system into a free guide. I linked it in the description for you. It goes deeper on everything that we're going to chat about and also includes free templates, frameworks, and specific examples. So grab it now. You're going to want it so you aren't starting from scratch. We are going to cover these 7 reasons that your LinkedIn isn't growing and the exact fixes to change that starting today. But let's get the bad news out of the way first. I'm sorry, I do not love it either. Your LinkedIn profile may be working against you before you even post. The LinkedIn algorithm changed in early 2026. Again, I know. It used to show your content to people you know. Now it shows your content to people interested in your topic, whether they follow you or not. Sounds good in theory, but only if you know how it works. So once you post, LinkedIn reads your profile, your headline, your about section, your experience, and it cross-references all of it against what you just posted. If they match, LinkedIn says, this person knows what they're talking about. Let me show this to more people. If they don't match, LinkedIn limits how far your post travels. So if you have been noticing a decline in your reach, this may be the culprit. Easy fix though. The first thing that you need to do to grow on LinkedIn is make sure that your profile is actually set up to work with the new algorithm instead of against it. Part 6 of the guide walks you through exactly how to create a compelling profile that is designed to convert. I also did a full video on exactly this. I'm going to link it in the description for you, and I'll also link it on screen at the end of this video so that you can watch it next. It walks you through how to set up every element to work with the new algorithm. But for now, the most important thing to rewrite is your headline following this formula. What you do, who you help, the result they get. You see, this headline tells the algorithm nothing, but this headline tells it everything. Get that right and the algorithm starts working in your favor. Now you think once your profile is set, you are ready to post. But in reality, the moment someone sees your post, you have already won or lost them. It took me 6 years of blaming my network and the algorithm every time a post flopped to learn that it was actually my fault. Oops. My content wasn't getting read because I wasn't following the 2-line rule. You get 2 lines on your post before the see more button cuts you off. So your hook is the single highest leverage skill in all of content creation on LinkedIn. So how do you actually write an opening line that makes someone stop? Ben Meir studied the posts that perform the best on LinkedIn and broke it down into 10 proven frameworks. They're all listed in the guide with a full walkthrough on each. You can be the judge of if they actually work or not because, plot twist, I have been using them on you throughout this whole video, and you're still here. So, I'm gonna give you a certain number of ways to get this result in this amount of time. We are going to cover these 7 reasons that your LinkedIn isn't growing and the exact fixes to change that starting today. It took me X years to learn this thing. It took me 6 years of blaming my network and the algorithm every time a post flopped to learn that it was actually my fault. Now, before you hit publish on anything, ask yourself, is this surprising or is it actionable? Because the best LinkedIn content always falls into one of those 2 categories. Once you've got a hook that stops someone, they click see more. And what happens in the next 30 seconds determines whether they read to the end or scroll away. Every single LinkedIn growth tutorial talks about how to hook someone into reading your post, but nobody talks about how to actually keep them reading. So what makes someone read all the way to the end of a LinkedIn post? The posts that perform best on LinkedIn aren't just well written, they are dopamine dense. Ben Meir defines dopamine density as how much psychological reward a post delivers per unit of time. The more reward packed into every line, the harder it is to stop reading. Here are 3 ways that you can do this. 1. Coin a term. Take a familiar concept and give it a name. My content wasn't getting read because I wasn't following the 2-line rule. You get 2 lines on your post before the see more button cuts you off. Names make ideas easier to remember and share. And when someone shares your coined term, they are spreading your brand along with it. 2. Take the reader on a journey. Tell stories with intention, obstacles, and resolution. Most LinkedIn posts skip straight to the insight and wonder why nobody feels anything. The insight without the tension is just information. The tension is what makes it a story. 3. Have a contrarian take. Not edgy for the sake of it, actually true, just unexpected. The posts that make people stop mid-scroll are the ones where the reader thinks, wait a second, is that right? And then read to the end to find out. There are 3 other techniques listed in the guide to help you implement this. So now you know how to write a great post, but once you start, I'm gonna be honest, it is really hard to keep going. Here's the part of the system I didn't expect. Before Ben Meir gets into any of the tactics, he spends an entire section on how to install the mindset you'll need to play the long game on LinkedIn. Here are 3 of the mindset shifts that I think are the most important for growth. Most people trying to grow on LinkedIn quit before they've even given themselves a chance. The beginning stages feel slow because you're laying foundations that you can't see yet, learning the craft and figuring out your voice. Remember that compounding doesn't show up on a graph until it does, and then it's dramatic. So stick with it. Expect imposter syndrome and keep going anyway. Every creator that you admire still feels it. The question to ask yourself isn't, am I qualified to post this? It's, could this help one person? If yes, then post it. And stop focusing on outcomes that you can't control. I'm looking at the marketers in the room. Follower count, impression numbers, like counts. These are outputs. Focus on the inputs instead. Write good posts, build a real network, refine your craft. The outcomes follow, they just follow on a delay. And most people quit before that delay resolves. Now, mindset is a super hard thing to work on when all of your posts are flopping. Why are all your posts flopping? If you're a marketer with limited time, which is most of us, spending 3 hours on a post that gets 12 impressions isn't a content strategy. It becomes a morale problem. You probably have a million post ideas in your head. So how do you actually narrow down which ones to spend time on? You want to be able to prioritize your ideas based on the time they take to create and viral potential. Ben Meir created a scoring system for this. He calls it the SMART post algorithm. Every idea in your head gets scored between 1 and 5 in both categories: time to create and viral potential. Add those numbers together and the highest combined score is what you write first. This system doesn't just tell you what to write, it stops you from wasting your best creative energy on your least effective ideas. Once you score a few posts, you will quickly find out that your best ideas are the ones that take longer to write. But there is a way to maximize that time and turn those ideas into your easiest growth move. If you want to hack the LinkedIn algorithm, there is one tool that you should be going all in on: LinkedIn newsletters. Once you create one, every time you have a new connection, they are going to be prompted to subscribe. I've posted about my newsletter like maybe twice, and I have almost 500 subscribers. It is the easiest social media growth tactic that I have ever tried. And here's why it matters. Every time you publish an edition, LinkedIn sends a push notification, an in-app alert, and an email directly to every single subscriber. You are literally bypassing the algorithm to reach your audience. So here's how to turn your best post ideas into a full content system. Take that high viral, slow to create idea, write it as a newsletter. Go deep, add frameworks, the examples, the full context. Then take that newsletter and pull the single most surprising or actionable insight. Turn that into a LinkedIn post that sends people to the full newsletter for a deeper dive. You can even use AI to help with this part. One idea, 2 pieces of content, a feed post that builds reach, and a newsletter that builds a subscriber list you own. That is the compounding move that most people on the platform never figure out. I have a full video walking you through exactly how to set up your LinkedIn newsletter, and I will link it in the description for you. Okay, you know what to write, how to prioritize it, and how to make your best ideas go further. But there is one thing that separates the people who plateau from the people who actually compound. Growing on LinkedIn is not about doing more. It's about learning faster than everyone else. Most people just post and hope. They never look back at what worked and why. The creators who compound are running a feedback loop on repeat. There are 4 numbers in your analytics that actually matter. Impressions. Is the algorithm amplifying you or not? Follower growth. Weekly spikes tell you exactly which content type is attracting new people. Saves. One of the most powerful signals on the platform. High saves tell LinkedIn that this post is worth keeping, and it gets boosted accordingly. And the strongest signal of all, reposts. When someone reposts your content, they are not just engaging. They're telling the algorithm, send this to everyone who looks like me. One repost does more for your distribution than 50 likes. If you're not tracking reposts, you don't actually know which of your posts work the best. Close the loop with the rule of 100. Post 100 pieces of content, analyze your top 10, what format, what hook type, what topic. Double down on all 3, post the next 100, repeat. That is how you compound your growth. Most people are out here treating LinkedIn growth like a mystery. They post inconsistently, write on random topics, use weak hooks, and wonder why nothing sticks. The answer is never talent. It is the absence of a system. Ben Mears' full 7-part LinkedIn growth system is free to download. It's in the description, and it goes deeper on everything that we covered and has actual templates and frameworks so that you're not starting from scratch. If this video is going to help you grow on LinkedIn, hit like so I know. And if you want a new marketing breakdown every single week, then subscribe to HubSpot Marketing for weekly videos and free resources to help keep your strategy ahead. And like I promised, the video that shows you how to set up your LinkedIn profile for the 2026 algorithm will be linked on screen here in a second for you to watch next. It is the first piece that you need to nail before expecting any kind of growth on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. My name is Bridget O'Rourke. Feel free to connect with me online, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.